I turned 30 last month, and let me tell you, it was not just another day. I drove 3 hours to my folks' place in my beat-up pickup, the kind of trip that makes you question your life choices while listening to some podcast about unsolved mysteries to keep your brain from spiraling. My relationship with my family is messy. Think of it like a junk drawer full of tangled cords and expired coupons. My dad, Roy, loves to dish out tough love, heavy on the tough, light on the love. My mom, Linda, just goes along with it, nodding like she is afraid to rock the boat. Then there is my brother, Travis, the family superstar who could do no wrong, soaking up all the praise like a sponge. I had not been back home since last Easter, when Roy spent the whole dinner telling my uncle I was wasting my life fixing computers instead of getting a real job, whatever that means. I stopped arguing with him years ago. What is the point when your role in the family script is already set in stone? But there I was, pulling into their driveway, the same old ranch house with the sagging porch and the mailbox held together with duct tape. Mom greeted me with a hug that felt like she was clinging to a life raft. Dad just gave a grunt from his armchair, eyes glued to a football game. Travis was running late, as usual, probably busy being perfect somewhere. Dinner was Mom's meatloaf, the one thing worth the drive. We sat at the kitchen table, the one with a burn mark from when Travis tried to cook as a kid. The talk was all about Travis, his fancy new job, his perfect wife, his kids who are apparently destined for greatness. Then Mom brought out a lopsided grocery store cake with one candle, proof they remembered my birthday, which was honestly a shock. Dad raised his coffee mug, and I braced myself. You could feel the air shift, like a storm rolling in. To Jason, he said, his voice dripping with that familiar sarcasm. Born to let us down and never missed a chance to prove it. If your grandma had not begged me, I would have shipped you off to trade school. Maybe they would have hammered some sense into you. The room went quiet, except for Mom's awkward chuckle. She nodded like this was just Dad being Dad. Travis, who had finally shown up, smirked and chimed in. Yeah, he would probably break the first tool he touched and beg for a desk job. Everyone laughed, their voices bouncing off the walls like I was not even there. But here's the thing, I just sat there, grinning. Not a forced smile, but a real one, because something inside me snapped into place. Or maybe it broke for good. Hard to say. See, I have spent my whole life trying to prove them wrong, chasing their approval like a dog after a car. But in that moment, with that sad little cake staring at me, I realized I was done. Done caring what they thought. Done trying to rewrite a story they had already finished. I ate my slice, thanked Mom, listened to more of Travis's victory lap, and felt nothing. No anger, no hurt, just this weird calm, like I was finally free. On the drive home, I called my buddy Mike, told him the whole thing. He went off, cursing my family out in ways that would make a sailor blush. I just laughed. He asked if I was okay, if I was losing it. Maybe I was. For context, I am doing all right. I have my own apartment, a decent job fixing tech for a local company, friends who do not treat me like I am a walking punchline. But to my family, I am still the kid who could not hit a fastball and got teased for it. The next day, Mom texted about how great it was to see me, no mention of Dad's speech or Travis's jab. Just thanks for coming, like we had a normal family dinner. I did not reply. For the first time, I just let her message sit there. A week later, her text got pushy. Am I okay? Did something happen? Please call. Dad left a voicemail about needing help with his new smart TV, because I am good with that tech stuff. No hint he even remembered what he said. I saved the message, did not call back. Now it has been a month, and I am collecting everything: texts, voicemails, Travis's smug emails about how I am overreacting again. I am building a case, not for revenge, but for clarity. Because I am done being their punching bag, and they have no idea what is coming. It has been 2 months since that birthday dinner, and I have not gone back to my folks' place. The quiet from my end is driving them nuts, like I flipped the script, and they do not know their lines anymore. Mom's texts have gone from sweet to desperate, asking if I am mad, if I am sick, if I need to talk. Dad's voicemails are piling up, each one about some random chore he needs my tech brain for, like setting up his new router or fixing his laptop. No mention of the birthday toast where he called me a letdown. No hint he even gets why I am ghosting them. My brother Travis, the golden boy, sent me a long email about how I am acting childish and hurting Mom's feelings. The nerve of that guy, acting like he is the family peacekeeper when he was laughing right along with Dad's jab. I save every message, every email, every voicemail. It is not about revenge, not really. It is about seeing the pattern clear as day, like putting together a puzzle I have been staring at my whole life. For context, I am doing better than ever. My job at the tech repair shop is solid, and I have been picking up freelance gigs on the side, fixing networks for small businesses. I have got my own place, nothing fancy, just a 1-bedroom with a view of the parking lot, but it is mine. My buddy Mike and a few other friends are my real family, the kind who lift you up instead of kicking you when you were down. But to Mom, Dad, and Travis, I am still Jason the screw-up, the kid who could not throw a spiral and got teased for liking computers instead of football. They do not know I have been seeing a counselor for a couple of years, working through the weight of their words. They do not know I have got savings, a plan, a life they cannot touch. Thanksgiving is coming up, and Mom's texts are getting pushy. She wants me to come home, says family is everything, says it would not be the same without me. I almost laughed out loud at that one. Family is everything? Tell that to the years of therapy I have paid for, trying to unlearn the idea that I am not enough. I have not responded to her yet, and I am not sure I will. Last week, Dad called, left a message about needing help with some medical bills. Said it was no big deal, just a temporary thing, but I could hear the strain in his voice. I saved the voicemail, added it to my collection. Travis chimed in with a group text, acting all buddy-buddy, saying we should all pitch in for a big holiday dinner. I left him on read. Here's where it gets interesting. I did some digging, nothing crazy, just poking around online and piecing together stuff they have let slip over the years. Dad retired early from his factory job, but his pension is not what he thought it would be. Their house, that old ranch with the sagging porch, has a second mortgage they took out to help Travis start his sure-thing real estate side hustle. Spoiler, it is not going great. Travis's Instagram is all flashy cars and motivational quotes, but I found a public record showing his business is in the red. And guess who co-signed those loans? Yep, Mom and Dad. They have been bailing him out for years while telling me I am the one who cannot get it together. Every year, Dad hits me up for cash. A new water heater, a car repair, some random expense. I always sent it, knowing it was gone for good, like paying a toll to exist in their world. But this time, when he mentioned the medical bills, I did not bite. I said I would check my budget and get back to him. Then I did not. He called again, left a voicemail about how family steps up, how he would not ask if it was not serious. I saved it, did not call back. Mom texted next, saying Dad was too proud to admit they were struggling, asking if I could help out a little. I did not respond. The silence is my new weapon, and it is working. They are starting to unravel, and I am just getting started. Thanksgiving came and went, and I did not go home. I told Mom I had a work project, which was not entirely a lie. I picked up an extra freelance gig setting up a network for a local coffee shop. She called me the day before, her voice all shaky, saying it would not feel right without me at the table. Dad got on the phone, grumbling about how I was putting my job over family, like he has not spent my whole life telling me my work is a waste of time. I just said I was sorry and hung up. No arguments, no explanations, just done. My brother Travis sent a text acting like we were best pals, saying I was missing out on his wife's famous pecan pie. I did not reply. Instead, I spent the holiday with my buddy Mike and his girlfriend, eating pizza and watching football. It was the most relaxed Thanksgiving I have had in years, no one telling me I am a disappointment over the mashed potatoes. The fallout started right after. Mom's texts turned into a daily barrage, each one more frantic than the last. Are you okay, Jason? Did we do something wrong? Please call me. Dad left a voicemail, his tone sharper than usual, saying I was being selfish, that family comes first. I saved it, added it to the growing pile of evidence I have been collecting: texts, emails, voicemails, all the ways they have made me feel like less than nothing. Travis went full drama king, sending an email about how I was breaking Mom's heart and needed to grow up. The irony of him lecturing me while his failing real estate hustle drags our parents down with him is almost too much. I have been digging deeper into their mess, and it is worse than I thought. I checked the county records online, and their house, that old ranch with the duct-taped mailbox, is behind on property taxes, racking up late fees. Dad's early retirement from the factory left them with a pension that barely covers their bills, and that second mortgage they took out for Travis's business is a ticking time bomb. I found a lien against their property, tied to a loan they co-signed for Travis's latest big deal. His social media is still all smiles and success quotes, but the numbers do not lie. His company is drowning, and Mom and Dad are going down with it. Meanwhile, they keep hitting me up for cash. Last week, Dad called about a small issue with their car insurance, asked if I could spot them $1,500. I said I would look at my finances and get back to him. I did not. Mom followed up, texting that they would not ask if they were not in a bind, that they would pay me back soon. I did not respond. Here's the thing, I could help. My tech job and freelance gigs have me sitting on a decent chunk of savings. I could write a check and fix their car insurance, maybe even cover the back taxes. But every time I think about it, I hear Dad's voice at my birthday dinner, calling me a letdown, and Travis laughing like it was the funniest thing ever. I see Mom nodding along, never once stepping in. So I keep my distance, letting the silence do the talking. It is like I am finally standing up for myself, not with yelling or fighting, but by just not showing up to take their punches anymore. Last night, I got a call from my cousin Amy, Dad's niece. She asked if everything was okay with my parents, said they had asked her for a loan, which was a first. She was worried, said Dad seemed stressed, mentioned something about their retirement savings taking a hit. I played it cool, said I did not know much, but inside I was piecing it together. Their whole world is crumbling, and they are scrambling to hold it together. Amy asked if I was coming for Christmas. I said I was not sure. Truth is, I am already planning to skip it. Mom's been texting about holiday plans, Dad's hinting about needing help with some expenses, and Travis keeps posting about how blessed his family is. I'm not buying it anymore. I am done playing the role they wrote for me. Let them figure out how to get by without their favorite punching bag. Christmas is a month away, and my family is acting like I have gone missing in action. Mom's texts are coming in hot, practically begging me to come home for the holidays, saying it will not be the same without me. Dad's voicemails have shifted from annoyed to something closer to desperate, asking if I can help with their heating bill because winter is hitting hard. My brother Travis, ever the hero, sent a group email about how we should all chip in for a big family gift for mom and dad, like I am supposed to pretend everything is fine. I have not responded to any of them. My phone is a museum of their guilt trips, and I am saving every piece, texts, emails, voicemails, for when I need to remind myself why I am done playing their game. The silence from my end is louder than any argument, and it is starting to shake their world. I have been doing more digging, and their financial mess is worse than I imagined. I pulled up their property records online again, and the late fees on their taxes are piling up like snow in a blizzard. That second mortgage they took out for Travis's real estate flop is drowning them, with payments they can barely make. I found court filings showing a creditor going after Travis's business for unpaid debts, and since mom and dad co-signed, they're on the hook too. Travis is still posting on social media about hustling hard and living the dream, but it is all smoke and mirrors. Meanwhile, dad keeps asking me for money. $1, $500 for the heating bill last week, $2,000 for unexpected repairs yesterday. Each time, I say I will check my budget and get back to him. Each time, I do not. Mom's texts come next, soft and pleading, saying they would not ask if they were not desperate, promising to pay me back. I leave them unanswered. I could fix this. I have got enough saved from my tech job and freelance work to cover their bills, maybe even bail them out of the tax mess. But every time I think about it, I see that birthday dinner, dad's smug toast, Travis's laugh, mom's silent nod. I hear all the years of them telling me I am not enough, that my computer work is a joke compared to Travis's big dreams. So I keep my distance, letting their world crack without me to patch it up. My counselor says this is about setting boundaries, about protecting my peace. It feels right, but it also feels heavy, like I am carrying a weight I did not ask for. Last week, things got weirder. Mom called late at night, crying, saying they might have to sell the house if they cannot catch up on payments. She asked if I could move back home, maybe pay them rent to help out, instead of throwing money away on my apartment. For a second, I almost felt bad, almost said yes. Then she added, "Your father always knew you would step up one day, once he realized what family means." That snapped me out of it. They do not see me as their son. They see me as a backup plan, the kid they can lean on now that Travis's shine is fading. I told her I would think about it and hung up. I have not called back. Then my Aunt Carol, mom's sister, texted me. She said mom had asked her for a loan, which was new. Carol was worried, said dad's health was not great, and their savings were shot. She asked if I knew what was going on. I played dumb, said I was not sure, but my brain was racing. Their whole life is falling apart, and they are reaching out to everyone but Travis, their golden boy. I checked Travis's business website, and it is a ghost town. No new listings, just recycled photos from 2 years ago. His empire is crumbling, and mom and dad are paying the price while still acting like he is the family's pride and joy. I am not stepping in to clean up their mess, not this time. Christmas is going to be a breaking point, and I am ready to let it happen. Christmas came faster than I expected, and I stuck to my plan. I did not go home. I told mom I had to work, which was true enough. I took on a holiday rush job upgrading a local store's computer system. She called me on Christmas Eve, her voice cracking like thin ice, saying the house would feel empty without me. Dad got on the line, his usual gruff tone softer, almost pleading, asking if I could at least stop by for New Year's. My brother Travis sent a text with a photo of his kids opening presents, captioned, "Wish you were here, bro." Like we are suddenly buddies. I did not respond to any of them. My phone is a vault now, holding their messages, their voicemails, their emails, every word a reminder of why I am done being their doormat. I spent Christmas with Mike and his family, eating ham and playing cards. It was simple, warm, the kind of holiday I have always wanted. The blowback was instant. Mom's texts turned into novels, each one a mix of worry and guilt, asking what she did wrong, begging me to call. Dad left a voicemail saying I was turning my back on family, his voice heavy with that old anger but tinged with something new fear, maybe. Travis went full attack mode, emailing me a lecture about how I was abandoning our parents in their time of need. He mentioned their financial struggles like I do not already know. I have been digging deeper, and their situation is a train wreck. The county records show their house is now in pre-foreclosure, with a notice filed last month. That second mortgage they took for Travis's failing real estate gig is crushing them, and their property taxes are so far behind the fees are bigger than the original bill. Travis's business is a ghost ship. His website has not been updated in months, and I found a bankruptcy filing linked to his company name. Mom and dad are tied to it all, their signatures on every bad loan. Dad called again last week, asking for $3,000 to cover a medical emergency. No details, just urgency. I said I would check my accounts and get back to him. I did not. Mom followed up, texting that they were really struggling, that dad was too proud to admit how bad it was. She asked if I could send anything at all. I stared at her message for an hour, my thumb hovering over the reply button. I could send the money. My savings could cover their medical bill, maybe even stall the foreclosure. But then I remembered my birthday, dad's cruel toast, Travis's smirk, mom's silence. I remembered every time they made me feel like I was nothing. I did not reply. My counselor says I am reclaiming my power, but it feels more like I am standing at the edge of a cliff, waiting to see if I will jump or turn back. Last night, I got a call from my Uncle Pete, Dad's brother. He said Mom had asked him for money, which was a shock. He had not heard from them in years. He asked if I knew what was going on, said Dad's health was shaky, and their retirement fund was basically gone. I played it cool, said I was not sure, but my mind was spinning. Their whole life is collapsing, and they are clinging to anyone who will listen, except Travis, who they still treat like a king. I am not stepping in to save them, not yet. New Year's is next, and I know they will push harder. I am ready to let the cracks in their world grow wider. New Year's passed, and I stayed away again. I told Mom I was swamped with work, which was half true. I was troubleshooting a server crash for a client. She texted back a sad face emoji, then a long message about how family is supposed to stick together, how I was changing in ways she did not understand. Dad left a voicemail, his voice raw, saying they needed to talk, that things were serious. Travis sent an email, all high and mighty, accusing me of playing games, while our parents suffered. I saved every word, adding it to my collection of their nonsense. I spent New Year's Eve at Mike's place, toasting with cheap beer and watching fireworks from his balcony. It was the first time in years I started a year feeling like I was in control. Their financial mess is no secret anymore. I checked the county records, and the pre-foreclosure on their house has moved to a formal notice. If they do not bring the mortgage current in 60 days, the bank will start the eviction process. The second mortgage for Travis's real estate disaster is bleeding them dry, and their property taxes are a lost cause. I found a court document showing Travis's business officially filed for bankruptcy, with Mom and Dad listed as guarantors for his loans. His social media is quieter now, just vague posts about tough times and keeping the faith. Meanwhile, Dad's calls for money are relentless. $2, $500 for a roof leak last week, for $1,000 for back taxes yesterday. Each time, I say I will check my finances. Each time, I do nothing. Mom's texts are softer, almost broken, saying they might lose everything, asking if I could just talk to them. I leave her hanging. I could end this. My savings could clear their tax debt, maybe even buy them a few months on the mortgage. But every time I think about it, I hear Dad's voice at my birthday, calling me a letdown, see Travis laughing, Mom nodding like it was nothing. My counselor says I am setting boundaries, but it feels like I am holding a match, waiting to see if I will light the fuse. Last month, I took a step I did not expect. I called a lawyer friend, Sarah, who specializes in real estate. I asked about buying distressed mortgages, not to screw anyone over, but to understand my options. She walked me through it, said I could purchase my parents' debt through a holding company, become their creditor without them knowing. It was expensive, but I had the cash. I set it up, created an LLC called Blue Ridge Holdings, and bought their mortgage from the bank. It was all legal, all quiet. I now own the debt on their house. They got a letter last week, saying their mortgage was transferred to a new company. Dad called me, freaking out, saying he did not trust these sharks who buy bad loans. He asked me to look at the paperwork, since I am good with details. I said I would, and he emailed me the documents. Reading their financial history was like peeling back the layers of their lies. The interest rate was brutal, the terms a trap, and they had refinanced 3 times to fund Travis's schemes. I told Dad the new company seemed legit, suggested he try to negotiate. He sounded defeated, said he would give it a shot. They have no idea I am the one holding the cards now. I'm not sure what I will do with this power, but it feels like the first time in my life I am not the one begging for their approval. They are coming to me, and they do not even know it. It is February now, and I invited Mom and Dad to my apartment to talk about their situation. I spent the day cleaning like a maniac, scrubbing counters, vacuuming, even dusting the blinds, not because I cared what they thought, but because I needed to burn off the nerves. I set up my kitchen table with their mortgage papers, the pre-foreclosure notice, and a binder I called my proof, every text, voicemail, and email where they tore me down, organized by year. My buddy Mike stopped by with burgers, made sure I was not losing it. He offered to stick around, but this was my fight. Some things you have to face alone. They showed up at 6 o'clock sharp. I checked my doorbell camera. Mom looked tired. Dad looked pissed. Same old story. I buzzed them in, and the slow elevator gave me a minute to steady my breathing. When I opened the door, they seemed smaller than I remembered, like the giants of my childhood had shrunk. Mom hugged me, her grip weak. Dad gave a stiff nod, no handshake. I offered them water. Mom took a glass. Dad refused. We sat at the table, the papers between us like a wall. Dad tried to wave it off, said I was too soft, that families talk tough. Mom said they never meant to hurt me, that it was just how we are. I played the birthday voicemail again, let their laughter fill the room. Mom looked away. Dad went quiet. I laid out my terms. They admit in writing how they treated me, go to family counseling, take a budgeting class, stop criticizing my life, and I would restructure their mortgage to something they could afford. If not, I would let the foreclosure happen. Dad called me a vulture, said I was using their bad luck to hurt them. Mom cut him off, told him to be quiet, first time I ever heard her do that. She looked at me, tears streaming, and asked if I wanted to destroy them. I said no, I just wanted them to see me, the real me, not the kid they decided was a loser. I wanted them to own their mistakes. Mom nodded, said she had let me down, said she was sorry. Dad stared at the table, then said he had been wrong, that he was scared I was better than him. It was not an apology, but it was something. We sat in silence, heavy but not hostile, just raw. I showed them the new mortgage terms, lower interest, longer payoff, payments they could handle. They signed everything, even the part admitting how they hurt me. It was not victory, not really. It was just real. It is April now, and I am sitting in my apartment, a coffee mug in hand, trying to wrap my head around the last few months. That meeting with Mom and Dad changed everything, but not in the way I expected. They left my place that night quieter, smaller, like the weight of their choices had finally hit them. Mom hugged me, whispered, "I'm proud of you," words I had never heard from her. Dad gave a clumsy pat on my shoulder, said, "We'll make this right." I did not sleep after they left, just sat on my couch, replaying it all. Travis was the wild card. He blew up my phone at midnight, furious texts calling me a snake for manipulating our parents. I checked my doorbell camera at 1 a.m. There he was, banging on my door, yelling for me to face him like a man. My neighbors must have loved the show. I snapped a screenshot of his red, angry face, sent it to Mom and Dad with a note. "Your son is harassing me. Handle it, or the deal's off." By 2 a.m., Travis's wife dragged him away, his shouts fading on the camera feed. I saved the video. Might frame it someday. Dad called the next morning, apologized for Travis, said they had told him to back off. He sounded different, humbled. We started family counseling the next week, over video calls because I was not ready for face-to-face. It was rough, Mom cried, Dad squirmed, but the therapist was sharp, calling out their patterns, making them face how they favored Travis and tore me down. I spoke my truth, laid out the pain of being their punching bag. For the first time, they listened. They started budgeting classes, too, and I get weekly updates from the instructor. They are sticking to it, learning to manage what little they have. Travis is another story. He has not spoken to me since that night, and I am fine with that. His business is dead, and he is scrambling to save face. Mom and Dad are not bailing him out anymore. My mortgage terms made that clear. Mike thinks I went too easy on them, says they should have lost the house for what they did. Maybe he is right, but this was never about revenge. It was about breaking free, about building a life where I am not defined by their words. I restructured their mortgage through my LLC, and they have made the first 2 payments on time. It is not forgiveness, not yet, but it is progress. My 31st birthday is next month, and I am planning a barbecue with Mike and my friends, the people who see me for who I am. Mom asked if they could come. I said I would think about it. Truth is, I might let them, but on my terms, at my table, where I set the rules. Looking back, I see how far I have come. A year ago, I was that kid at the birthday dinner, smiling through the hurt, desperate for their approval. Now, I am a man with boundaries, with worth that does not depend on their praise. Counseling is helping us rebuild, slowly, but I am not naive. Trust takes time, and some scars never fade. But I know this, I am not their disappointment anymore. I am Jason, with a job I love, friends who lift me up, and a future I am building myself. That is the real win. If anything big happens, I might share an update, but for now, I am focused on living my life, one day at a time. Thanks for listening to my story. It has been a wild ride.